this will be my last December book review. My next book review video will have a couple Christmas books still because I have like 2 or 3 left to read and I need to finish them. I had a goal and I must meet it. It is Christmas Eve as I record this, so by the time the end of the year comes, hopefully I'll be done with those books. But first, I'm going to talk about some lovely Christmas books. Let's start with Apple Cider Slaying. I have seen this around. Booktubers have talked about it, and I've just seen it come up as like suggested for me to read. What more should I do than read it? This is about a woman named Winona, and she lives with her Granny Smith, who has an apple orchard. This book begins in late November, but she wants to help the business because they have financial issues. So she wants to do a cider business to keep it going throughout the season to just get some more income, but they are definitely struggling. So at one point she goes into showing off her farm to someone that works at the bank so that way she could maybe get some help. So while doing so, they find a body of a neighbor. So Winnie wants to find out who killed this neighbor on their property. There happens to be a very handsome young cop, and he's trying to find out who killed this neighbor as well, but he's pointing fingers towards Granny, and she does not appreciate that. She is a good woman. How dare he do that? So she is trying her best to get information, but he's like, I don't want you to interfere with my methods of investigating. Please stop. So anyway, she doesn't stop. So this book is all about what she finds out. It is very charming. It is clean. It is fun. It is filled with wonderful things. And there is murder, unfortunately. A Christmas House Wedding. This is the second book in a series. I had read the first book last year. The first book was very heartwarming. I really enjoyed it so deeply, but this one, it didn't cut it as close as Being Loved for me. I still enjoyed it. In the first book, there's focus on a specific sibling and a grandmother that has this Christmas house, talks about how she got the Christmas house, and now there is going to be a wedding in the Christmas house. I'm not going to say whose wedding. This is now focused on the other sister that was in the story in the background. So now she's in the forefront, and the main sister from the first book is in the background on this book. So this is about her finding her story. So her name is Olivia. She is a single mother trying her best to raise her daughter. She has really bad problems with her ex. She has traumatic memories from being with him, but she's trying to move forward. She's doing her best to maybe start her own business up. And her sister's trying to set her up with this guy who does some construction and is going to help her. And she's like, I don't want a relationship. I don't like this guy. She kind of calls out why she doesn't like this guy. And he's kind of standing right there. But this is about both of them and their time together, and about what it's like for her to be a single mom trying to get her foot out there in the world. The Dawn of Christmas. This was, I think, the third book. This is about Sadie. She has been wanting to get married to her fiance. Tomorrow's the big day, but unfortunately she walks in on him with another lady. And it's kind of actually not so clean when she walks in on him. And that kind of like surprised me because it's an Amish romance. So that was kind of like, whew. But the rest of the story is totally fine. You could see that she was traumatized by what she saw. So now it's a few years later. She is living her life a little bit more rebelliously because she's just a little bit mad about what happened. And she is very outspoken now, where once she was a little more soft-spoken because this really caused her some issues. There's also this guy named Levi. He works with horses, he trains them, and he gets into a really major accident. And the one that comes upon him is Sadie. So the two of them start to form a friendship, and it's very funny how this story goes on. I found it to be kind of really sweet how they interact. And of course it is set around Christmas time, but really it's only Christmas time at the very end of this book, which is kind of like what I mentioned for the last book, the Christmas singing, where they didn't really have Christmas singing till the end of the book. Same with this. Dawn of Christmas is really at the back of the book with the Dawn of Christmas. Some Agatha Christie. Hercule Poirot is at it again. I have read the other Christmas Hercule Poirot book, and I loved it. That I read, I think, last year. And so this year, I kept seeing this around it. I didn't even know it existed, even though it's like in the list. So I thought, yes, must read before the end of the year. This story is kind of surprising, actually. It's about this family where this man, he has a whole bunch of kids. He brings them to his estate. He wants to talk about his will to them. But while he says, I'm going to work on my will soon, I'm going to change it, and there's going to be some surprising things, but I think that it will be good. The next day, he's no longer, and he was brutally murdered. This one was pretty graphic, really kind of sad. This is not a very hopeful Christmas story. It's very depressing. And you have all these kids and their issues that they had with their father. He definitely was not one who was faithful to his wife, and it's mentioned a lot throughout this book. So Hercule Poirot and this police are trying to do this investigation to find out which one of these people, there are several people that aren't even related that are there in the house. So they're trying to talk to each one, trying to see what they saw, what they heard, and the stories don't really match up. So they need to find out who's being honest and who isn't. I actually thought that the way this story was put together was really great. At the end, when he's like saying like, well, this happened, and so this must be, I feel like there was a lot of, where is this? This is coming out of like left field, how he noticed this and then thought this and was right. Like, it's definitely something that I wouldn't think would have happened. I did not guess the killer on this one. I was kind of bummed out, but that's a good thing. It means this was really well written. This is Anthony Trollope. It's a collection of Christmas stories, Christmas at Thompson Hall and other Christmas stories. I think there were 5 stories in here. I had never read Anthony Trollope before, and I've heard about him from a few booktubers that are out there. Hello. Saw that my library had it, and I put it on hold, and I got it before Christmas. I read it really fast. The first story especially, I really loved it. It was funny. It was very, very funny. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't want to give anything away, but it was humorous. Near the end of this, there was a story that had to deal with brothers at Civil War. I loved that one. The very last story was so short and it didn't like call to me. 2 of the stories were a little similar with switch endings, in my opinion. His writing, there were parts in each story where I was like, that is beautiful. And I didn't write down what the quotes were, but seriously, this was a really great Christmas story. All of the stories had to deal with Christmas time. I liked it, and it makes me excited to read more Anthony Trollope, which I think I had in my 2026 list. I think The Warden's on my list. Maybe I'm wrong there. Pretty sure. So I'll be reading more. A Perfect Amish Romance. This is very sweet. I got sucked into this story. I thought it was really great because it teaches you to not listen to gossip, to find out from the source about things. It taught you to care for other people and to put other people before yourself, to be selfless. I thought that the morals throughout this were really beautiful, very good. It starts where there is this person with a bookmobile, and she has a way of giving advice to people, and she's just not really like a main character, but the people that come to her bookmobile are the main characters. So we get 2 different love stories in this, and 2 of them are siblings and the loves that they have. One is a young man. He wants to take a GED test. Now, if you don't know Amish people, they only get school up to 8th grade. So that's kind of like, ooh, can't get your high school diploma. But he wants to study. He talks to the bookmobile librarian, and she knows another Amish person who took the GED, who's a little bit older than him. So they start hanging out. They get to know each other. His sister has grown up with this neighbor boy that she has always been into, but he's been spending time somewhere else. So she's a little worried. I thought that the stories were really good. I loved the characters, getting to know them. It was a very sweet story. There is a little bit of a faith element around it, not too much. I loved learning about each character. This was just so very nice. And I'm looking forward to reading the second book in time. Well, with that being said, this is going to be my last video for book reviews of the year that I film. I do have another video that will be coming out on New Year's Day. So yeah, it is the last video of the year. That's wonderful. I have had a great reading year. I am going to do a review of my top books from the year. From what I see on Goodreads, I've read 254 books so far this year. I still have about 5 I'm hoping to finish in the next few days. I can technically do it. I just hope I get sucked into the book that I'm about to start. So we'll see what happens. That means that I will have read 259 books this year if I finish those. If not, it's around there. This is the best reading year I've ever had. I've never read over 200 books in a year. Never. I never thought I would reach that. I think the most I read was like maybe 160 or something like that. This is insane. I don't know what was wrong with me, honestly, or I was just, a little more well rested than other times. Okay, guys, well, thank you so much and have a happy new year and Merry Merry Christmas to those who, still have that sense of spirit since these were Christmas books. I still read Christmas books even after Christmas. Have a great 2026 coming. All right, bye.